What's up, my friends? Mike Robertson here. Today, we are going to talk about half kneeling. One of my favorite positions. I think it's incredibly valuable, something you should be using regularly in the gym if you're a coach or trainer. So if you're unconvinced, let's start by talking about why you should use half kneeling. Number one, mobility. Lots of people talking about mobility. They'll give you 30, 40, 50 activities you should be doing to improve your mobility, rolling around on the ground. That's all great, but when we're talking about mobility in the gym and something that will carry over to everyday life, when you're working in half kneeling, you're working on hip flexion, hip extension, IRs, ERs. You are trying to recapture a lot of things in one basic activity. So if you want to restore mobility, working half kneeling into your program can absolutely help. Number two, lots of us want to be able to split squat and lunge effectively. But if you're unstable, if you can't control those body positions, putting yourself in half kneeling allows you to learn that stability, the control, just give you the body awareness to be able to split squat and lunge more effectively as well. So it's a static position that you can then, over time, work to make more dynamic. But if you don't own half kneeling, it's going to be very, very hard for you to be able to stabilize and control your body when you stand up and you try and make it dynamic like you would in a split squat or a lunge. So lots of reasons as to why. Again, if you're not doing it, give it a shot. I think you're going to like it. Second, let's talk about coaching, because just because you put somebody in half kneeling doesn't mean they're doing it at a high level. So I want to break down some of the things that I am looking for when I'm coaching or cueing half kneeling. For starters, I always start from the side, that sagittal plane view. And when somebody's in half kneeling, I'm really looking for a 90-90-ish position. So hopefully Paul will be able to pick me up here, but this front leg, I want ankle, knee, hip at about a 90-degree angle. And then in this case, again, ankle, knee, and hip in about a 90-degree position as well. So I just want to try and maintain this relationship to the best of my ability. If you see somebody that's spread really far front to back, probably an issue. Or if you see somebody that's very compressed or compact front to back, probably a sign that they don't have the mobility yet. That's okay. Just know that we have to have a model and we want to get them to 90-90 over time. So starting from the side, looking for 90-90 relationships from the front, very, very important. I want my ankle, my knee, and my hip, and even up to my shoulder in a straight line as well. So on both legs, ankle, knee, hip, shoulder in a straight line. If you see somebody that's really out to the side, they're turning in like this, everything's crooked, cockeyed, you know, that's something you're gonna have to clean up as well. Last but not least, from that back view, what I'm really looking at is their waistband, and are they level through their pelvis side to side. Really common issue you're gonna see, let's say my left knee is up. When you look at somebody from the back, if they don't have full hip flexion, when they go into that bottom position, you're gonna see that hip hike up. So what you may wanna do there is just put an extra AirX pad. We always joke around here, 1 pad versus 2 pad, guys and girls. If you're a 2 pad person, that just means you don't have enough mobility in that down leg hip to keep your pelvis level. So those are some of the big things that I'm looking for when I'm coaching and cueing. Now we're gonna take a second, we're gonna break all this down, and then I'm gonna show you some of my favorite half kneeling exercises that I use in the gym. All right, let's break down some half kneeling activities you can use when you're in the gym. Now, before I show you the actual activities, just a little bit of thought process here. When I am doing a row, one of the nice things about, say, a row or a pull down is these activities are using the cable and the weight to pull me into position. I think of this as being a little bit more passive. And what this also allows me to do is really open up and get a nice inhale, and allows me to create some space in the front side of my hip, in my chest, in my upper back. So when you go from a row to, say, a cable press where you're pushing, now it's a little bit more active. You gotta think really actively controlling this position, maybe keeping the core engaged. I don't like to cue a lot of glutes, but you're a little bit more active in holding this position versus when I go here, if I can stabilize, this is great for your bigger, stiffer clients. It's gonna allow them to create a little bit more space, create better shapes, and ultimately get more out of the activity. So with that being said, let me break down a half kneeling cable row. So if you're looking at me from the side, you want that 90-degree angle on the front and back leg. You're gonna reach long, inhale, and then exhale and pull back. So it's reach long, Inhale, exhale, pull back. Very important here, emphasize the breathing and don't think about just squeezing the scaps back. It's more of a turn and a rotation while keeping this leg locked in. If you get that rotation, you're gonna get the most out of the activity. So you can do a half kneeling row. You can bring this up. You can do a half kneeling lat pull down. So the setup is essentially the same. Now we just have the cable up high. Inhale, exhale, pull down. If you've got somebody that's really kyphotic or they've got that down pump handle, I really like this position. It helps lift the chest and it helps kind of create that space and restore better trunk and thorax position. So you got those variations. We can come here, drop it back down, and we can dive into our half kneeling cable press. So in this case, a little bit more active. I'm tall through that knee and I'm reaching long. Inhale, exhale, press. Again, really thinking about getting tall through that down knee. The second you go from a pull to a press, a lot more active, a lot more challenging. Okay, last but not least, here is our half kneeling landmine press. So basic setup down below. What I want you to do here is reach. Think about when you reach, keeping your weight back. A lot of times when people reach, they have this tendency to chase the bar. I like to think about staying tall, reach, and then again, driving that alternating arm action. You can see when my left arm comes down, I reach with my right, and when I reach with my left, the right arm comes down. So you're trying to get that alternating action up top while keeping abs engaged and keeping the center of gravity back. So next time you're in the gym, give these half kneeling activities a shot. I know you're gonna love them and I know you're gonna get a lot out of them. If you're enjoying the videos, 2 places you can go. 1, RobertsonTrainingSystems.com, all kinds of free stuff, articles, podcasts, videos, just like this. Or you're a trainer, coach, you wanna level up, go to CompleteCoachCertification.com. Link is in the description. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week with our next video.